What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. Now, yes, the tips video is uploaded on a Tuesday. Who would have thought? So I'm going to be taking you through my round 20 tips this weekend. Now, last weekend I had a pretty shocker of a week and I only got 5 out of 9 tips, and that put me down to 21st spot. I'm on 103 points in total. The leader, of course, is still Suresh for Eagles. He has 115 points, and he got 6 out of 9 last weekend. There is still a few contenders. The second place is on 109, so is third place, and then we got a few 108s, 107s, and all that. The lowest score we have, last place has 68 points, so you can definitely see the disparity between first and last place in my tipping competition, as there is still a few people that are yet to crack the ton, but a few of them will surely crack the ton this weekend. But yeah, Suresh for Eagles, it is literally his money to lose at this point. He is on 115 friggin' points, so it would be tough for him to lose unless he has a slip up this week, but I doubt he will. But yeah, let's run through my round 20 tips. Let's go. All right, we're kicking off round 20 with the Friday night clash of the Saints versus the Blues at Marvel Stadium. I'm going to be tipping the Saints in this one. Last weekend they had a pretty decent game against the Eagles. They fought hard until the end and only got beaten by an 8-point margin, which is, you know, a pretty good game for them considering it was at Optus Stadium in front of the Eagles home crowd. So they did well, but they obviously just couldn't find the chocolates. Whereas the Blues, they got absolutely dismantled by the Roos last weekend, and you know, the Roos are 18th on the ladder. In fairness, the Roos have been playing some decent footy as of late, but you shouldn't be losing to North Melbourne by that many points. You should still be putting up a fight. And yeah, so the Blues, it was a bit disappointing from them last weekend, so I'm going to have to tip the Saints in this one. Just been looking a bit better than the Blues have this season and in the last few games as well. So yeah, it's going to be the Saints for me in that one over the Blues. Next, it is the Dogs taking on the Crows at Mars Stadium in Ballarat. I'm going to be tipping the Dogs this one. In this one, I feel like the Dogs have been playing a bit better than the Crows have this season, you could say. Obviously, they did beat the D's last weekend as well in an impressive performance. And like I've been saying the past few videos, the Crows have just been in a bit of a slump the last few weeks and, you know, the last month as well. They did get the job done over the Hawks last weekend, but, you know, the Hawks are 17th spot, so it's nothing too special this season beating the Hawks. But yeah, I'm going to be going the Dogs. They've just got a much better team this season than the Crows do. It is in Ballarat as well, so I feel like it's all just heading towards the Dogs win this one. So yeah, the Dogs for me. Then it is North Melbourne taking on Geelong at Bloodstone Arena in Ballarat in Tasmania. Bloodstone Arena in Tasmania. I'm going to be tipping the Cats in this one. They've just been looking really impressive this season. Geelong have, you know, I think the Roos will, you know, put in an effort. They've been playing some decent footy the last few weeks, and they obviously got the big win over the Blues last weekend. But the Cats have just been playing sublime the last few weeks and the last month as well. They got the job done quite easily over the reigning premiers in the Tigers last weekend, and the weeks prior they've just been looking really good. The defence has looked really solid as well, not leaking too many points and, you know, gathering points of their own in the forward line. So it's all just looking really good for Geelong in the lead up to September. So yeah, this will be another win for me for the Cats as they move on to the finals. Then it is the Suns taking on the D's at wherever it's going to be. It doesn't actually say where it will be. I'm assuming it's probably going to be in Queensland, but I have no idea. I'm going to be tipping the D's in this one. They haven't been playing the best footy as of late, the D's. They've been a bit inconsistent. But yeah, I feel like this game will get them back on the winners list, and this game will sort of find them back into form, which is what they sort of need to be doing to the back end of the season just to get a bit of momentum going into September. So as much as the Suns have been sort of impressive the last few weeks, I will be going the D's in this one to get the job done. And yeah, they need to be winning games at the back end just so they can, like I said before, find some form heading into the back end of the season. Then it is Collingwood taking on the West Coast Eagles, and as much as Collingwood lost last week, I was still impressed with how the young guns played for us. I thought there was a few young players like, what's his name? There was a few young players in there like McRae. He played a decent game. I thought Tohill was impressive in his debut as well. And yeah, I thought Henry was also impressive. Oliver Henry. He was alright in the forward line. So yeah, there was a few, you know, good things to like about Collingwood's performance last week. But I'm going to be tipping the Eagles in this one. I just feel like they've obviously got the more experienced side compared to Collingwood. It will be interesting to see how the youngsters go against a much more experienced Eagles side who've sort of been finding a little bit of form the last few weeks. I wouldn't say they've been playing the best, obviously. But yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Eagles in this one. They've got a much more experienced side, a much more experienced forward line, which will be a bit difficult for our, you know, smaller back line to handle. But we'll see how they go. Anyway, I'm going to be tipping the Eagles in that one. And then it is the Bombers taking on the Swans at Marvel Stadium, and I'm going to be tipping the Swans in this one. They've just been having a great past few games, haven't they, the Swans? They've just had a great past few games, and you know, they're in a good position at the moment. I feel like their team is just really clicking together at the right part of the season, which is what you want to be doing. You can have a 50-50 first half, but as long as you have a decent second half of the season, things can start going your way looking into finals. So yeah, been really impressed with how the Swans have managed themselves in the last half of the season. Not so much with the Bombers. I feel like they've been up and down during the last half of the season. They are a ninth spot, so destiny is sort of in their hands if they want to make finals or not. If they lose this one, I feel like it will be very tough for them to do so. And yeah, so I'm going to be tipping the Swans in this one. They may be without Buddy Franklin this weekend because I heard that the Swans will be challenging Buddy's one match ban or whatever it was. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Swans either way. Even if Buddy doesn't play, I feel like they'll be good enough to get the job done. The Sunday games kick off with the Hawks taking on the Lions. I'm going to be tipping the Lions in this one. They've just looked better this season than the Hawks. And yeah, I feel like they got into a bit of form last weekend against the Gold Coast Suns. It did take them a half for them to get back into that form, but they did manage to get the job done in emphatic style over the Suns. Whereas the Hawks, you know, they lost to the Crows, so they've just been really down this season. I'm hoping that the Hawks will put up a challenge because it is in Tasmania, and you never know what Hawks side you can get in Tassie. You can get a really good one, you can get a sort of average one. So, but yeah, either way, I'm going to be tipping the Lions in this one. I feel like they need to start winning games to the back end of the season because they sort of had that little slump against, you know, the Saints and the Tigers and found their way back against the Suns. So they'd want to have a good performance in this one just to get kicking that form nearing finals time. Then it is the Giants taking on the Power at wherever it's going to be. I'm going to be tipping the Power in this one. They just look like they sort of went back into form last weekend against the young Pies side. There was still parts of that game where they didn't look too good. Whereas, you know, obviously the Giants got the win last weekend, but again, it took them a bit to click on before they could beat the Bombers, and it was a close game as well against the Bombers. So if we're being honest, these sides did have a 50-50 game last weekend, but overall I was more impressed with how the Power got the job done than I was the Giants. So for me, it's going to be the Power getting the job done. Their young forward line, the young players really managed to hold themselves up in that game with the likes of Dersma, Rosie and Butters as well. So I feel like the Power will be good enough to get the job done and sort of just stick in that top four position, you know, sort of just stick in there. Whereas, you know, the Giants will be sort of fighting for that top 8 spot. So yeah, it'll be a good contest, that one, because, you know, this is the race for the finals is really heating up, and the Giants at the moment in 8th spot. The Power in 4th spot would love to keep a top 4 opportunity in their grasp. So, you know, it'll be a good game to watch. But yeah, I feel like the Power will be good enough to get the job done in that one. Then it is Fremantle taking on the Tigers at Optus Stadium. I will be, I was gonna originally tip the Tigers, but they got absolutely done last weekend. So I'm actually going for the upset in this one. It's at Perth. The Tigers were really disappointing last weekend. So I'm actually going to be tipping the Dockers to beat the Tigers in this one. I actually have a sneaky suspicion that the Dockers could get it done in Perth. They are going to be without Fife in this one, but I just feel like they could be a little bit of a sniff in that one, that the Dockers could get the job done. I feel like maybe Mundy could carry the young guns into a victory in that one. And yes, it'll be a really interesting match to see how that one goes. It depends how the teams look like. Like, honestly, I'm going to be tipping the Dockers for now in an upset. But in the end, looking at teams, I could actually switch to the Tigers. But yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Dockers in a bit of an upset. It's in Perth. The Tigers haven't been playing too well. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Dockers in that one. And if they lose, obviously I wouldn't be too surprised because it is Richmond after all. So yeah. Anyway, that's the tipping video done for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back for another video and a stream this weekend because obviously the Vic crowds will not be allowed for another 2 weeks, Dan Andrews said, so I won't be going to Collingwood versus West Coast, unfortunately, as much as I would have loved to go. But yeah, cheers guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.